Are you enjoying your food, Joe? You really expect me to eat this? You know I only eat 100% all natural hunted beef. Well, it doesn't have to be. God. Every time I let you choose where we go, this always happens. Well, come on, Joe, we're trying to have a nice night out. Why are you making this such a big deal? Chef! Hey! Is this 100% hunted all natural beef? Fuck. I need to calm myself down. Have you ever even smoked weed before? Joe, stop smoking in the restaurant. Joe. No, speaking of drugs, you ever tried DMT? So I rented the Scooby-Doo movie on DVD. You know, I, saw Shaggy's True Power on DMT. Okay, that's it. We're done. We're leaving. Where are you going? I haven't even told you about my Taekwondo background yet.
We're gonna watch some more epic Ryan is Online content now.
Guys, I'm gonna need extra protection for this one. God fucking damn it. You know, I can't let all these crazy conspiracies getting in my head today, guys. Every time a conspiracy comes to the head, God damn it. Every time a conspiracy tries to make its way into my head, bling! Bounces right off of my hat. God, fuck the hat. Let's see if this works. Alright, it works. Let's get into it. I'm sure all of you know who Joe Rogan is, and I'm sure all of you have listened to the Joe Rogan podcast at one time or another. And if you haven't, you should really check it out. It's a pretty decent podcast. But a few months ago, Joe had a little bit of an awkward episode of his podcast. He had the former Blink-182 lead singer Tom DeLonge on the podcast. Former rock and pop star coming onto the podcast with Joe Rogan. Seems like it's going to be a pretty decent podcast, right? Ho, let me tell you what. This was more than a decent podcast, boys. This fucking podcast was filled with so much weird shit and just so much ridiculousness. It's just too much, honestly. So Tom DeLonge, if you guys didn't know, he knows a few things you don't know. Oh, but he can't tell you these things because he just can't. Yeah. So to kind of bring you up to speed, here's where we are at the podcast. Tom came on the podcast to basically explain the things that we don't know. And that's about it. And at this point in the story, Tom got brought into some restaurant by some secret government agents or whatever.
They tell you what?
Okay, so I'm sitting at that restaurant, and
he says he found a life form. They found a life form during the Cold War.
Right, and I said,
where'd they find it?
Oh, I didn't ask him that question.
Really?
Many places. I did one time bring up. I said, I'm thinking about talking about the crash in the late '40s, and they go, "Why just that one?" That was the answer. So I had to figure out a language to talk to these guys.
Did you ever think maybe this guy's bullshitting you? Or he's a crazy person?
No. Fuck no.
Are they bullshitting me? Nah, no way, man. No way. Are they bullshitting me?
Sitting with them, we talk about a lot of things. I bring up the incidents with our nuclear weapons. I bring up the incidences, a few other things that I want to get into.
So I normally don't like just letting a part of a video play for a long amount of time and not saying anything in between it, but you need to just listen to this whole thing and appreciate it all, and it's just fucking glory.
And he goes, "What do you need to do your project? What are you looking for?" And I said, "Well, I need advisors. I need people that are from different areas in the government because everyone has their own perspective. You have people at the National Reconnaissance Office that have a perspective based on the satellite feeds they're getting, and these things are coming in and out of the atmosphere. Then you also have people from the agency that are worried about and collecting information of what's going on with people in different countries and here. But then you also have engineers that have a perspective on how the technology is made and what that might mean, because there's a lot of consciousness stuff that falls into this category."
There's a lot of consciousness stuff that involves in this category? What the fuck is this guy talking about? You have officers at the National Reconnaissance Office who are using satellites to take statistics of things that are coming in and out of the atmosphere. And then you have advisors and officers who are taking data on people from different countries. And there's a lot of consciousness involved. What does any of that have to do with anything? Please explain to me.
Right there. So there's satellites that track them coming in and out of the atmosphere?
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
Absolutely, man, yeah. Yeah, man, I know all about those satellites, man, yeah. Yeah, dude, I did all my research on the internet, man. I know what I'm talking about.
What kind of satellites are these?
I don't know. Usually forward-looking infrared, but I don't know what spectrum of the infrared they're looking at.
So there's some sort of a camera or some sort of a detection device that they have.
Yeah, man, I talked to all these officers and all these agencies and shit. Am I cool yet?
In the atmosphere just to check for UFOs?
I don't know if it's just for UFOs. They can pick up very, very specific heat signatures.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure infrared is on like the spectrum of like light and radiation. I don't think you can look into like a specific spectrum of the infrared, because I'm pretty sure the infrared is a spectrum. Like, am I the dumb one? I really don't know. Like, I honestly genuinely don't know. I tried Googling it, but I couldn't quite like figure out the answer. Correct me if I'm wrong, by all means, in the comments, please.
And they have algorithms, because what you have is a satellite is a device that can pick up what you program it to pick up. Now,
the algorithm put into the spectrum to find the infrared
Satellites in the spectrum, all the satellites, and
programmed into the satellites to look into the infrared.
Watching this is genuinely starting to piss me off, because you can tell he's just spewing out some random fucking words to sound smart.
you put a sensor on there, but you got to tell the sensor what to do.
Right.
So if the sensor says, look, something traveling at this speed with this kind of heat, you know, you got to record that, you got to focus on it, and that's what we call an ICBM.
Little editors know, if you have a satellite that's looking for a certain heat signature, you don't need to put an algorithm in it. It's already looking for a certain heat signature. Another editor's note, an ICBM is an intercontinental ballistic missile. This guy's full of shit.
And 2 weeks later, bam, 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 my email starts. I have all these admirals, all these generals. No intelligence people other than brass that were connected with the National Reconnaissance Office. But
oh yeah, in 2 weeks, bam, 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 I got all these emails from sergeants and generals. No intelligence people. What? What? Sergeants and generals are hitting you up and you're gonna tell me that's not intelligence? They know shit that you're not gonna know, dumbass. What the fuck? This is so stupid. It's like unbelievable.
National Reconnaissance Office is half Air Force and half CIA.
The NRO consists of CIA, NSA, Navy, and Air Force, and one other one. But there'll be a screenshot up here, so you'll see it. So he's not entirely wrong, but I got it off of a simple Google search, dude. Get your facts right.
But they're all military, and so I start talking to them. I start meeting with them. I fly out to Colorado Springs, and there's a general and a colonel, and they look at me and they said, okay, do you need anything else? Are you good? And I said, well, I think you guys should talk to the Defense Intelligence Agency. And they go, why? I just don't want to upset them. I want to make sure everyone's kosher with what I'm about to do. And the colonel looks at me and he goes, do you ask your dad for permission after your mom's already given it to you? And I go, no. And he's all, you've been given permission, shut the fuck up and get to work. And I was like, all right.
Boom, get pwned, bitch.
You got pwned. You got pwned.
Yeah, you little pussy. You already got permission, you little pussy. What are you doing? Get to fucking work.
So I did. So I go out and I put the book out there and I start doing national radio, like the Art Bell, so Coast to Coast, Georgia, I do all that stuff. Next thing you know, I get approached by somebody at a certain agency. And that guy comes to San Diego and puts me in a small room. And I got what you would call interrogated for 2 days straight, saying, we need to know who the fuck you are. You know shit you shouldn't know. And
So what specifically should you not have known?
The book. What's in the book? Everything I've been telling you today.
The book. Yeah, the book. Everything I've been telling you today, which is absolutely nothing except bullshit. I'm definitely not lying right now. Yep. Telling the truth.
When you're dealing with, there is a concerted international effort to deal with this stuff, and that was in my book.
I just realized while editing that this whole thing was probably a big ploy to get us to buy his book, so, we all got bamboozled. So I think I've had enough with that, so let's just, let's pull Leon and, scroll down to the comments, shall we? Cause, oh yeah. I wish I had my tinfoil hat on still. Tom Swallows. Fair enough.
It's called meth, guys. Lol, this dude is cray.
This guy's just a younger version of Alex Jones. Honestly, John, I can't disagree with you. Really disappointed Joe let this nut job on the podcast. You can look at this guy and tell that he's crazy. I learned nothing from this video. Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one.
Come with me.